Gundam.tk presents Gundam Harute. Hey, how you doing again, everybody? This is Robert184, as always, from Gundam.tk, and I'm continuing my look at the 00 movie kits. In this case, it's the high grade 1/144th Gundam Harute. And maybe I've got the pronunciation wrong, but basically, this is Alleluia, Hallelujah, and Somapira's Marie What's-Her-Name's new suit from the movie. This kit came out in September of 2010, and it sells for the price there of 1,800 Japanese yen. It's number 68 in the long-running high-grade Gundam 00 series. For a look around the box, you can see there that it has the kit information, or the MS information, and we've got a height of 19 meters, and there we have a very cool looking front shot and a scene from the anime. And of course this thing is big, with two big weapons and two huge black things on its back, which is of course borrowing from its previous incarnations. Here's some information on the pilots: Alleluia Haptism and Somapira's, and of course Alleluia can turn into Hallelujah whenever he's having a bad day. Now, the key of the Arios Kyrios family is that they transform, and here it is transformed into its flight position, as they want to call it here, and there is a shot of it from the rear. Of course, we're looking at it from the top down. I wonder how much kibble there is down below. For a look on the other side, it says basically it takes the GN Archer and the Arios Gundam and turns them into one awesome kit. So here we're going to have the GN Sword Rifle, and this is in rifle mode, and it transforms into sword mode. And what's different? Well, just the handle goes in. But it does show over here that it does have a lot of moving parts, etc. Anyway, we're going to have a GN cannon, all sorts of mobility there in the waist. Some pretty cool poses there when it's got both of the weapons up in rifle mode. It's got a GN missile container slapped onto the back. And there it is with the swords out, and of course it's just bragging about all the articulation. Something interesting is that you're going to get a clear visor that's made out of clear parts, of course clear parts for the elbows as we've seen in most of the 00 kits, and you're going to have a big clear part on what looks like the cockpit of it when it's in jet mode, and that's going to be filled in with a red seal. And of course you can just open up this hatch to put this onto an action base, and I'm glad that they give us the unpainted picture. And it's looking pretty good, though nowhere near as good as this professionally painted one over here. So to take a look at what's inside, we are going to get an A plate with the stickers up here. Then we're going to get some gray and black plates, a plate of white and orange, a smaller size here, and poly caps and gray parts, the manual, and that's about it. Here's a look at the A plate, and of course we're going to have 4 colors on here, lots of yellow parts here, including the fact that we get 4 different V fins, as if you want to call them that, for the head, 2 red parts just for the chin goatee and for the waist section, big molded parts here for the back of the jets, sort of from the Archer part. If this was in 1/100th, I wonder how big those would be. And we're going to get these clear parts for the sword rifles, for the elbows, for the cockpit here, and for the eyes themselves, so a very promising A plate. Bandai's been doing a very good job of this lately, where they're making these 2 1.5 plates, as I like to call them. So here we've got B1 and B2, and of course we have all the parts over here for the head, etc. that you only need 1 of, and all of these parts are things that are going to get doubled up. And really nothing stands out except for the fact that we have the head parts here, and otherwise minimal lining it looks like on the rest of the white parts, especially on the legs. Here's the C1 and the C2 plate, and again we're just going to have big parts here for the sword rifles. Everything else is looking interesting for the feet, etc. Nothing really pops out, but again there's quite a few big pieces in this kit. With the D1 and the D2, as you can see there, the big standout here is of course going to be the missile containers. We've got the parts down here for the drives and the handles, etc. for the sword rifles, but otherwise pretty standard construction it looks like here for all the similar parts. If you've been building the lead Gundams from the 00 series, you'll be familiar with most of this construction already. The final plate, the E plate, again, just big parts that stand out like this, so really there's going to be a lot of hollowness to this when we put it together, but hopefully that's good for the weight issue department. The manual has the same art as on the box, the front and back shots looking pretty good, and the dual pilots, which is really rare in Gundam. When you crack this whole thing open, it's going to be a 5-page instruction manual, of course information on the plates and how to order it, and anybody who's familiar with the 00 parts, build the chest, build the head, build the arms, build the legs, and put them together, and you're going to have a Gundam. And what that means is the remaining portion of the manual is all going to be about building the GN Archer. if you want to call that, and slap that on the back. Moving on to the back section of the manual, we've got some color pages here with making the sword rifles, and then information on how to do the transformation, which does not look very complex whatsoever. And again, we're going to have similar to the action poses that we've already seen on the box, and some pretty cool features and gimmicks that they've got on it. I have to say that I really like the looks of this kit so far though. Nothing exciting about the stickers except for the fact we're just going to have the eyes. These are going to go on the weapons. These are going to go under the clear parts, but I'm going to paint those green instead, so I probably won't use those. Just sights for the weapons. And then we're going to have this big red sticker, which is going to go under the clear part, it looks like. And again, maybe if I paint that though, the paint marks are going to show up pretty horribly. That's the deboxing and introduction to this high-grade Harute, and I have to say, here's the spoiler part, so everybody stop listening now if you're waiting to see the movie yourself. When I saw this movie, this MS was the star of the show. Not on the strength of the characters or the pilots or anything. Of course, the Alleluia, Hallelujah combination is pretty awesome to watch. But it was just this thing could do anything. The way it spammed enemies with its missiles, the way that it transformed, used its rifles, used its swords. This was, for me, out of the four, I really liked Raphael, but this one has to go down as my favorite. Which makes me a lot more keen on building this kit than I thought I would have been just when it was announced back in the hobby magazines. So when you see the movie, if you like the kit, I think I'm going to enjoy this when it's all put together, but transforming Gundams, especially high grades, tend to have not a lot of good points, so of course there's still a lot to be seen. Don't forget you can see lots more reviews including all of the other high grade 00 kits from the movie, well of the main four anyway. And this is Robert 184, 2Rs 2Bs from Gundam.tk. Stay tuned for lots more reviews. And as always, let me know with a comment below what you think. Hit like if you do, don't if you don't, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching everybody. See ya.